OK, so the Met Police have given an update now on the escaped prisoner Daniel Khalife. Let's hear from Counter-Terrorism Commander Dominic Murphy.
First of all, just tell us you've got a new lead. Can you tell us exactly what that is?
Yes, thank you. So thanks to the media support and the public support, we now have a confirmed sighting of Daniel Khalife escaping from underneath the lorry near Wandsworth roundabout. So that is the Trinity Road into Swandon Way in Wandsworth, and then walking towards the town centre in Wandsworth.
And how you say you've got a confirmed lead, how do you know it's confirmed and how certain are you?
The detail that the witness has been able to provide to us is very helpful in us confirming that we believe that very strongly to be Daniel Khalife, and we're putting a lot of effort into that as a significant development in our investigation.
So now that you've got that lead, where is the search at?
Yeah. So the search carries on, both focused in London but focused all around the UK. And of course we've got support from in all of the borders around the UK as well to try and find Daniel Khalife. But we're still focusing our effort here in London. We are of course looking wider. We have excellent support from the public and the media, and also from colleagues in policing across the country.
So you've kind of started to build up a picture. Have you figured out exactly at what point he left that truck? If you're saying sighting him wasn't, have you figured that out yet? Have you worked out?
So we believe this sighting is the point at which he left the truck. It's just over a mile from Wandsworth Prison, and of course, while we keep an open mind, that it's a strong indication that's coming from the witness this time.
So where does your search take you now? You've got this broad search going on. What's the next step?
We will of course be focusing on multiple reports from the public. I'm pleased to say we've had over 100 reports from the public as a result of the appeal, and we continue to work on and respond to all of those calls as they come to us. That is taking us to different parts of the UK, but of course we will follow all of those leads until we find Daniel Khalife.
How concerned are you that you haven't yet picked him up all this time later?
Well, I know we're utterly committed to finding Daniel Khalife. We have a large team and amazing support, as I say, from the public and colleagues. The longer this goes on, then of course, we will continue to have to try and work with the public and our colleagues to find him. But we're committed to doing that. We're not going to stop anytime soon.
To what degree do you think there might have been another state involved in this, a state actor? Does that concern you in terms of the way that it's happened?
Look, this is part of an open investigation, so you'll appreciate I'm not going to talk about anything that might impact upon that investigation. And it's important to remember Daniel Khalife was charged with a number of offences, including the breaches of the Official Secrets Act, and was on remand as a result of that. So we need to make sure that we bring him back to prison, that he can stand trial, and that's a fair trial. So I'm sure you'll appreciate I won't be talking about the details of that investigation.
So if he's watching, what's the message?
My message to Daniel is to give himself up. We will be closing in on you. The public are motivated and trying to find you. We've had excellent support from the media. It's only a matter of time before we find you, and I would appeal to you to call us and we will come and get you, or go into your nearest police station and we will detain you.
And what should people do?
Well, not to approach Daniel. I strongly believe he's of low risk to the public, and I've seen nothing that counters that view. But they shouldn't approach him. They should call 999 if they've had any sightings of him at all, or any information to give us. Today we're also offering up to £20,000 reward for information that leads to Daniel's arrest. And I think that's an important point. So anyone out there with any information that might help us arrest Daniel Khalife, come forward, and you could be entitled to a reward of up to £20,000.
OK, there we go. So a confirmed sighting, as far as they're concerned, of Daniel Khalife, and a £20,000 reward now for any additional information. Mark White joins me. That was, by the way, Dominic Murphy, who's the head of Counter-Terrorism Command. Mark, yes, OK, so important updates there.
Yeah, very much so. He says himself that this may be very significant. They clearly believe that that was Daniel Khalife that was detaching himself from this van at that point, just a mile up the road from Wandsworth Prison, and then walking. So not running like some of the earlier reports from a different location were suggesting after an interview in one of the newspapers. That's different. That's further down towards Wandsworth County Court. That seems really, it will be considered. They will look into that, but I don't think they're taking that seriously. It's clear, and they've probably got CCTV now to back that up, that shows him in that area. It's a very busy area of Wandsworth.
I think it's absolutely incredible that in a nation with this much CCTV, it appears that maybe only now after somebody, when you knew what van he was underneath as well? Only now have we got potentially some CCTV of it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to the police, there are many cameras along this route that would have to be looked at to see if they can see this lorry. It does take a bit of time, but yes, you're right. I mean, we are...
3 days, I think.
Well, yes. Wednesday, so...
Yeah.
As far as the police are concerned, they have been trawling through, obviously, that CCTV. They're aware of the route that the lorry took. It may be that they had some information themselves. Now they've got some corroboration from an eyewitness who's seen this man emerge from this lorry. And the key thing is that there's no indication that he actually sped off in any vehicle, as earlier reports were suggesting from that area, which is a bit further away. That was suggesting that he walked down to Wandsworth town centre or in that direction.
And if anything, this deepens the mystery, actually. OK, so there's now a credible sighting of Daniel Khalife, and it appears that he's walked into Wandsworth town centre, dressed as a chef, and whatever's happened after that. That means that this sighting of him supposedly running across the road and getting into the back of a black car and then speeding away may well not be true. They searched the park for him all overnight, and that turned out they didn't find him in there either. Talk of him, has he fled the country? Is he in the Iranian embassy? I mean, it looks at the minute, from what we know, like he just walked into Wandsworth town centre.
Yeah, I mean, you heard our producer, Tom Fredericks, was asking the questions of the commander there and asked that specific question about whether he was concerned or believed there was a possibility of state involvement here, given that we now know that one of the charges he faces is spying for Iran. He would not be drawn on that at all. But of course, it's got to be uppermost in their minds as they're trying to bottom out exactly what happened and whether this individual had any third-party support. It looks from the eyewitness information that they're talking about there, that he got out from under the van and was walking, and he wasn't, from what we can see from the statement and what the commander has said, walking with anyone else at that time. Didn't get
it almost would have made more sense for him to have been seen getting out from under a van, legging it to a getaway car. You think, right, this is part of a big organised plan here that has come together, and it's a slick state-sponsored operation. But, I mean, if the reality is that it stopped at Wandsworth Roundabout, which is pretty much at the back of the prison, and he's got straight out and just walked into the town centre, then you start to think, hang on a minute, is this just almost like an ordinary bloke who's decided that he fancies to chance his arm?